Well, good morning, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few weeks, I've been a bit busy with other things, I apologise for that. I don't know if many of you have noticed, but my YouTube channel's now past 1,000 subscribers, so big thank you to all you guys for watching, much appreciated. And don't forget to give a thumbs up to this video. And today I'm out in the woods, as you can see around me, all about here, and it's again not far from my home, but we're in midsummer now, sort of mid-June, rapidly approaching mid-June, and I've come into the woods with the dogs for a walk, as well as brought the camera. And my interest today is in something that I've been noticing developing the few times I've been here over the last couple of weeks, and it's these beautiful foxgloves which are really everywhere in the woods. Let me turn you around and let you just have a look. In this little valley in the woods here, with these recently coppiced chestnut trees in the background, we've got these wonderful common foxgloves there. And my objective today is to get something a little unusual in the way of a shot from them. And I'm absolutely surrounded by them. They're all over the place down here, and they've only been out about a week, 10 days, and some of them are still coming out and others are well out. But I'm going to try and get an interesting shot. I think that'll make a really pleasant shot, but what I've got to do is find a way of framing them. And what I've got with me today is I bought a second hand from MPB, which is who I buy and sell my cameras through, a 12-24 zoom lens, which is a Sony G lens. It's not a G Master, it's a G. It's an f4. I don't need the f2.8. I don't need the cost of the f2.8. I also don't need the 2.8 part of the 2.8 or the weight. So I went with the f4, which is a much more plasticky, sounds wrong, but it's a lighter build and it's a lovely little lens. I had one before and I'm impressed with the image quality with it, and because of the unique angle that can give me, I'm hoping to get really quite close in on these foxgloves but have the others in the background much smaller, and I think I can achieve that. So bear with me while I set the camera up and let's see what sort of images I can get from here. Well, I've got the 12-24 lens on the camera now, and as you can see, it's it's chunky, but it's not heavier than my Tamron 28-200. And as I mentioned, I got it from MPB. It's not a plug for them, but I have found them very useful in being able to buy and sell equipment at an acceptable sort of rate of loss, and also a very fair organisation in terms of the values they give you for second-hand equipment. And I found them more reliable in selling on eBay as well, which I've had a few glitches with over the years, which I won't go into now. But as you can see, it's a pretty nice looking piece of kit. Got it on the A7R4, and I'm going to set up for a shot which is behind you. I'm not sure quite how I'm going to frame it yet, so bear with me while I scoot around. There is just here, just off the camera, a old piece of wooden fence. I'm not even sure, I don't know if you can just see that. I'll just turn the camera around a bit more. Just here, yes, you can see it. There's this old piece of gnarly old wood fence with some old nails sticking out of it. It's not quite close enough to the actual foxgloves to be able to put them both in the frame at the size I want, but I'm going to start by taking a shot of this because I think it looks nice. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm hand holding the camera. I've got it currently at 24mm because I can get this piece of old fencing nicely in focus here, and you're sitting on the tripod, so I can't really use both, but with the image stabilization I think I'm good to go. So I'm angling the camera so that I don't actually get any skyline in, because those will be bright highlights which will spoil the shot. And I've got several of the foxgloves in the distance behind this piece of fence, and I'm just framing it so that I can get the fence as the primary thing. I'm focusing on the fence, F14 at a 13th of a second, which I think I'm good to go. ISO 100, 2-second timer, although I don't need it handheld. And we've got that shot, and I'm just going to press the video button so you can see. I'll introduce some video here as well. And I need to be set on video mode there. Right, so If I zoom out to 12mm, you can see the foxgloves really are disappearing into the background. But if I come in tighter but move the camera back to 24mm, you can see the foxgloves are sticking up at the end of this piece of wood, and I think that is the shot I'm going to take when I put it back into shot mode. And that two-second timer, 30th of a second, f8. We need to go up to f11, I think. Let's go to f11, 15th of a second. And there we are, we've got that shot now. So that's my first shot. And I want to get really tight in and use the 12mm end of this lens now, so just bear with me. Okay, so I've got the camera set up on the tripod. I'll show you the arrangement I've got and how close I am actually to the foxglove to get the image that I want. So I'll spin you around. Right, I don't know if you can see on the back of the camera because of the amount of glare there is from the sky, but we've got the main foxglove, which is just here, literally about 6 inches from the lens, in the left right hand 1/3. Just about see it there, and then I've got a series of other foxgloves in the distance, and because of the closeness of the lens to the foxglove, we've got really, that is the prominent part of it, and the ones that are over there, which I'm showing you now, are much smaller. So what we've got there is f8, ISO 100, 100th of a second, 2-second timer. I'm just going to reframe that very slightly. Just bear with me. I'm trying to keep the sky out of the shot. I've just reframed that, which you probably can't see properly. And that's all nicely laid out. Some nice ferns in the bottom left hand, bringing your eye into the shot. Focus on the foxglove. 2-second timer. f8, and as I say, there we have it. That's the second shot. I'm quite pleased with that. The early morning lights lighting the foxglove up nicely. There's a little bit of dew on it, which might or might not show up in the shot. We'll have to wait till we get back and post-process it. But that's the shot from here, so we're going to move on. Well, this is absolutely glorious here this morning. It's absolutely silent, a few bees buzzing around, and they're taking great pleasure in actually pollinating these common foxgloves. And I've moved down only about maybe 50 meters from where I was a few minutes ago, and I found a nice, another little nice outcrop of these foxgloves. And let me show you what I'm actually trying to get now. And I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to take 2 shots. One will be at f4 and the other one will be at f18, something like that, and see which of them you prefer. So let me just show you what it is I've framed up. So on the back of the camera here, we've got this close foxglove here, which is about 9 inches away from the front of the camera lens. And we've got some sky in, which I can't really do much about easily. And we've got a series of other foxgloves there in the background. And I'm focus point on the front one. I've got f4 set up. I'm going to take this first shot. 2-second timer. So that's the first one taken. I'm going to take the same shot again, but about f18, so that the background pretty much comes into play. There we are, f18. What's it go down to? f22. Let's go to f18. Focused again on this nearest foxglove. Take that second shot. I was a bit black there. Too much sky behind me. I've taken the second shot, and I'll put them up now, and I'll be interested which one you prefer out of the two. I think my preference is for the one that's actually got the shallow depth of field. Yes, I said pretty much as I was saying. The one I prefer, I think, and I haven't got back to look at them yet, is the one that's got the very, very shallow depth of field. So I'll put them up, and please in the comments below make your feelings on which one you prefer known. I might take a couple more shots while I'm here. I think there's a couple more images to be had. There's in particular a nice oak tree which is behind you guys. It's also behind a big bush here, and I'm not sure I can get the bush out of the way, because I'd quite like to put one of the foxgloves against the oak tree, just sort of pointing upwards, looking up at both of them. I think that might be a very pleasant shot, but I haven't set up for that. I'm not sure I'm going to get it, because I'll turn you around and show you the problem I've got. The problem I've got is, there is the oak tree I'm referring to, and then in front of it here is this large piece of, I think it's a sweet chestnut, which if I move down the track a little bit further, I can get this tall foxglove here in the frame, but the tree behind it isn't completely unobscured by this mass of bush in front of it, and I'm not quite sure that's what I want, but let's see how we get on and see if we get that shot as well. Well, as I was cycling back from the place you last saw me at, I came into this pine grove, which at this time of day with the sun relatively low produces some really quite spectacular sort of backlighting on these newly grown ferns. And if I take you up to where I've got the camera and show you what I mean, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, and I just couldn't resist. So just bear with me and I'll spin you around. So as you can see around me, loads and loads of fresh fern growth, and the sun is backlighting, and it's changing by the moment. It's changed in the few minutes I've been here, so I've really rushed to get here in time to take these shots. But the one that interested me the most is the one I'm about to show you. And on the back of the camera here, you'll see I've got the 150 to 500 on, and just in front of us here is one frond of fern that's just losing the light now because it's going behind a tree, but it's still showing enough light to show you what it was I first saw. And I've zoomed in. Well, I'm at 500 mil virtually, and these two little arching fronds make a beautiful pattern with all the background out of focus. I'm even at f16 so that I can get good front to back focus, accurate focus here, and that is an 1/8 of a second at f16, ISO 125 as it shows here, and I better get that shot quickly. There's no wind at all, so nothing's moving, so let's get that 2-second timer. In fact, I say there's no wind. I can see it's now starting to move. So I'm going to have to wind the ISO up to 500, 25th of a second, bring me down to f9, f8, 100th of a second. That should be enough to freeze that action or motion. Let's have a look. It did move during the shot, but I'm more interested in whether we can see here it's absolutely tack sharp, apart from that frond coming this way, which isn't quite in focus. So I might need to go to f13, a 25th of a second, take that shot, pray for no movement, and see what we've got this time. Yeah, tack sharp. Absolutely perfect. It's magical in here at the moment, it really is. We're just losing the sun as a backlight because it's going higher and it's reaching up into the canopy of the trees here, these pines, which is causing the light to be much more diffuse. It hits the ground rather than being more horizontal as it was earlier. But I think that was well worth getting that shot. So anyway, big thanks for watching us on this video. I'm hoping to produce some more over the next couple of weeks because I'm actually on holiday again, which if you remember before I was in the Lake District I was on holiday. So let's get back and let's process these pictures, see what we've got. Thanks very much for watching.